Welcome to this in-depth, chapter-by-chapter book summary of James Clear's Atomic Habits, the Framework. James Clear's Atomic Habits draws on cutting-edge psychology, real-world stories, and practical advice to show us that tiny changes, consistently applied, can create remarkable results. The book's backbone is the 4 laws of behavior change, a framework for making good habits obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Clear also stresses the importance of identity. True, lasting change comes when habits reflect who we wish to become, not just what we want to achieve. Habits work on a feedback loop: cue, craving, response, reward. By manipulating this cycle, you can design habits that stick for good and break ones that hold you back. Throughout the book, powerful stories, from Olympic athletes to everyday people, bring these ideas to life. Chapter 1. The Surprising Power of Atomic Habits. James Clear kicks off the book by revealing a counterintuitive truth. It's not the big, dramatic transformations that change our lives, but the small, incremental improvements. A mere 1% change, repeated daily, compounds into spectacular results over time. As an example, Clear cites the British cycling team's turnaround. Once the laughingstock of international cycling, they began making minor tweaks, from adjusting bike seats to experimenting with better massage gels. That relentless pursuit of tiny improvements set off a compounding effect. Soon, they dominated Olympic events and shattered world records. Their cumulative 1% marginal gains made all the difference. Clear uses this as an analogy for self-improvement. Atomic habits are the compound interest of personal development. Just as a small amount of money can compound into great wealth, small habits, consistently performed, snowball into incredible personal change over months and years. Conversely, negative habits can compound to devastating effects, like a single day of laziness leading to a lifestyle of procrastination. Many people seek instant improvement and get discouraged when rapid results don't appear. Clear introduces the idea of the plateau of latent potential, the period where effort seems wasted, but results are about to compound. The melting of an ice cube exemplifies this. Heat applied from 25 degrees Fahrenheit to 31 degrees Fahrenheit shows no visible change, but just one more degree, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, suddenly produces water. That final push is the breakthrough, but it's only possible thanks to small, consistent effort along the way. Clear's core message: focus on trajectory, not results. Are your habits nudging you 1% closer to who you want to be each day? If so, trust the process. The compounding effect will deliver profound change in the long run. Chapter 2. How your habits shape your identity, and vice versa. In this powerful chapter, Clear argues that true behavior change is identity change. 3. Most people try to change habits by focusing on outcomes. I want to lose weight. Or processes. I'll go to the gym 3 times a week. But these approaches are superficial if they don't target the core, your sense of identity. Clear divides change into 3 layers. Outcomes, what you get, e.g. running a marathon. Processes, what you do, e.g. going for a run every morning. Identity, what you believe about yourself, e.g. I am a runner. The key insight is that every action is a vote for the type of person you want to become. If you want lasting change, aim for identity-based habits. The goal isn't just to read more books, it's to become a reader. Not just to quit smoking, but to become the kind of person who doesn't smoke. Small wins provide evidence that a new identity is emerging. Take the story of a woman who lost 100 pounds by simply asking herself, whenever faced with a food choice, what would a healthy person do? Each small decision reinforced her new identity as a healthy person, and her actions became aligned with that belief. Clear's 2-step process for identity change. Decide who you want to be. Prove it to yourself with small wins every day. This approach creates a positive feedback loop. New habits reinforce a new identity, which motivates more positive habits. Over time, your self-image transforms, and your habits become second nature. Lasting change isn't about willpower alone. It's about becoming the kindest person for whom your desired behaviors are simply what I do. Chapter 3: How to Build Better Habits in 4 Simple Steps. Clear now breaks down the neurological habit loop, the basis for all habits. Cue, craving, craving desire, response, action, reward, satisfaction. Habits are not destiny, but learned loops ingrained by repetition and reinforcement. The process feels automatic because cues spark cravings, which lead to responses and finally to rewards. Over time, the brain associates cues directly with responses, solidifying the habit. Clear's major contribution is his 4 laws of behavior change, a practical toolkit for habit formation and elimination. Law number 1: to build good habits, to break bad habits. Make it obvious. Make it invisible. Make it attractive. Make it unattractive. Make it easy. Make it difficult. Make it satisfying. Make it unsatisfying. These laws map perfectly onto the habit loop. Obvious equals cue. Attractive equals craving. Easy equals response. Satisfying equals reward. For example, to build a reading habit, leave a book on your pillow. Cue, obvious. Join a book club for social excitement. Attractive. Start by reading just 1 page. Easy. And reward yourself with a favorite treat afterwards. Satisfying. To break a bad habit like checking your phone during dinner, make it invisible. Leave it in another room. Unattractive. Keep a tally of how many times you check it. Difficult. Install app blockers. And unsatisfying. Create accountability consequences. By manipulating each stage of the habit loop, it becomes possible to effortlessly establish good habits and extinguish bad ones. Chapter 4: The Man Who Didn't Look Right. This chapter is all about awareness as the foundation of behavior change. Clear tells the story of a paramedic who, after years of experience, instantly recognizes when people don't look right. This unconscious pattern recognition is habit in action. Our brains notice environmental cues and trigger automatic responses, often below conscious awareness. To change any habit, you must first become aware of it. Clear introduces 2 practical tools. The Habit Scorecard. List your daily habits and mark each as positive, negative, or neutral in relation to your goals. This process brings subconscious routines into the light. 1. Pointing and calling. Borrowed from Japanese train operators, this is a technique where you verbally acknowledge your next action. Cup of coffee. Got it. Raising your level of consciousness and reducing errors. When deciding whether a habit serves you, ask, does this behavior help me become the person I want to be? This simple check can help you distinguish between habits you want to keep and those you want to change. Awareness is the first step toward change. Once you notice your automatic routines, you can begin to redesign them intentionally. Chapter 5: The Best Way to Start a New Habit. Clear now dives into practical strategies for initiating positive change. Making a habit obvious and easy begins with implementation intentions and habit stacking. Implementation intention is a specific plan. I will behavior at time in location. For example, I will meditate for 60 seconds at 7:30 a.m. in my living room. This concrete commitment vastly increases follow-through compared to vague goals. I should meditate more. 11. Habit stacking links a new habit to an existing one. After current habit, I will new habit. For example, after I brush my teeth, I will do 10 push-ups. Your brain already remembers to do the first action, so the second piggybacks effortlessly onto a solid routine. Examples of habit stacking. After I pour my morning coffee, I journal for 2 minutes. After I take off my work shoes, I immediately change into workout gear. After finishing dinner, I read 1 page of a book. By building on habits you already do consistently, you create powerful chains that turn new behaviors into automatic routines. Likewise, start small, even embarrassingly so, to maximize your odds of sticking with it. As Clear says, the goal is to master the art of showing up. First time, Chapter 6, Motivation is Overrated. Environment often matters more. Chapter 6 busts a common myth. Success is about motivation and willpower. In reality, environment is the invisible hand shaping human behavior. 14. Clear illustrates this with a story from a Boston hospital. Simply rearranging the cafeteria to put bottled water in more visible places led to a significant drop in soda consumption, all without lectures or incentives. This is called choice architecture, structuring your surroundings so that cues for good behavior are obvious and accessible. Practical applications? Want to practice guitar? Leave it out in the living room, not hidden in its case. Want to floss? Put floss on your toothbrush. Want to eat healthier? Put fruit on the kitchen counter. Hide junk food at the back of the pantry. The clearer and more visible the cues for good habits, the more likely you are to follow through. Conversely, hide or remove cues for bad habits, and they'll weaken over time. This approach is powerful because you don't have to fight old patterns. You simply change your context, so the right choice becomes the easy default choice. Chapter 7, The Secret to Self-Control. Self-control is most effective when you avoid tempting situations altogether rather than fighting willpower battles every day. An eye-opening example. In Vietnam, 15% of US soldiers became addicted to heroin. When they returned home and lost environmental cues, stress, easy drug access, 95% quit with no rehab. The takeaway? Willpower isn't the solution. Environment is. Strategies for self-control. Remove the cue. If you want to stop eating junk food, simply don't buy it. Change your environment. Move your TV out of the bedroom to reduce late-night watching. Avoid negative triggers. If you tend to procrastinate on social media, block or delete the apps on your phone. People with strong willpower are often those who are systematically avoiding temptation, not constantly resisting it. Structuring your world removes friction and makes self-control almost effortless. Chapter 8, How to Make a Habit Irresistible. Clear now explores what makes some habits stickier than others. Desirability. Our brains are wired to respond to rewards, especially those accompanied by dopamine spikes. Surprisingly, it's the anticipation of a reward, not the reward itself, that fuels motivation. Think about the rush before eating your favorite meal or opening a social media app and expecting likes. The anticipation releases dopamine, driving repeated action. Temptation bundling is Clear's signature strategy here. Pair an action you must do with one you want to do. For example, only watch Netflix while exercising on the treadmill. Only listen to your favorite podcast while cleaning. Only drink your morning coffee while reviewing your to-do list. Businesses do this all the time. Think Thank God It's Thursday TV promotions paired with wine and popcorn, or positive loyalty rewards for buying more. By creating associations between productive habits and pleasurable actions, you turn chores into hooked behaviors. The greater the anticipation, the easier it is to build a habit. Chapter 9, The Role of Family and Friends in Shaping Your Habits. We are social creatures, deeply influenced by the norms of those around us. Clear shows that our habits mirror those of our tightest social circles. The close, family and friends. The many, the group tribe, the powerful, high-status individuals. For instance, the story of the Polgar sisters, homeschooled, immersed in chess, and all became world-class players, demonstrates the immense power of family culture. The pull of social conformity is so strong, experiments show we'll give the wrong answer to fit in, sometimes even against obvious evidence. Application: to build a desired habit, join a group where that habit is normal. Want to run more? Join a running club. Want to read more? Start or join a book club. Want to eat healthier? Spend time with others who prioritize healthy food. Peer pressure, when harnessed thoughtfully, is one of the most powerful levers for positive change. We imitate the habits of the close, the many, and the powerful. So create your social environment with intention. Chapter 10. Walk slowly, but never backward. All habits solve problems, often emotional ones. Cravings stem from subconscious predictions about what will feel good or reduce discomfort. Clear shares that surface-level desires, like wanting a cigarette, often mask deeper motives: stress relief, stimulation, belonging. By understanding and addressing real needs, you can reframe habits for more effective change. Reframing and motivation rituals. Shift your language. Instead of "I have to," say "I get to." Focus on positives. I get to work out and build strength instead of "I have to exercise." Create a motivation ritual. Do something you enjoy, e.g., listening to a favorite song right before a hard habit to create positive associations. One real-life example: a man in a wheelchair described how he felt liberated by his device, not confined. People who successfully maintain positive habits, like daily exercise or meditation, often do so because they attach empowering meanings to their routines. The inversion of the second law, make it unattractive, is also key. Focus on the long-term drawbacks of bad habits to make them less appealing. For example, visualize health consequences of procrastination or overeating. This reduces the pull of instant but fleeting reward. Chapter 11. The Law of Least Effort. Humans are wired for convenience. We follow the path of least resistance. Good habits thrive when they're simple and frictionless. Bad habits die when they're tedious. Clear illustrates this with the quantity versus quality experiment. Photography students who were told to take as many photos as possible, quantity, produced better work than those striving for a single perfect shot, quality. Why? Repetition fostered learning and skill, while perfectionism led to procrastination. Practical tips: reduce steps between you and good habits. Prep gym clothes the night before. Increase steps, barriers for bad habits. Remove batteries from the remote. Delete social media apps. Lock up snacks. In a team setting, streamlining workflows or automating repetitive tasks increases collective willpower for truly important creative processes. Repetition, not perfection, builds habits, and the easier the routine, the faster it becomes automatic. Chapter 12. The 2-minute rule. A breakthrough technique. Every new habit should take less than 2 minutes to start. The 2-minute rule helps you beat procrastination and overwhelming expectations. Want to read more? Read 1 page. Want to exercise? Put on your workout clothes. The key is to lower the barrier to entry. Once you show up, you're far more likely to keep going. Clear tells the story of a man who lost over 100 pounds. In the beginning, he went to the gym, but only allowed himself to stay for 5 minutes. By mastering the art of showing up, he made fitness a consistent, automatic part of his identity. Start with gateway habits, tiny actions that serve as entry points into larger routines. Over time, you can shape these into more advanced versions. For example, fold 1 pair of socks, laundry, open my notes, studying, write 1 sentence, journaling. The 2-minute rule helps you standardize before optimizing. It's about building the foundation for bigger change. Chapter 13: How to Keep Your Good Habits from Going Off Course. Consistency beats intensity. One decisive moment can set the path for your entire day. A fork in the road will either lead you closer to your goals or further away. Clear recommends habit tracking, marking an X on a calendar, using an app, or physically moving objects like Trent Dearsmith's paperclip strategy for sales calls to visually track progress. This creates powerful visual cues for success and ties in with the human craving for accomplishment and progress. A second tip: never miss twice. If you fall off track, skip the gym, binge watch TV instead of reading, don't let it happen 2 days in a row. Missing once is an error. Missing twice is the start of a new, bad habit. To maintain habits long term, use visual measurement, e.g., calendar, marble jars. Forgive small failures. Focus on returning, not self-punishment. Make tracking a satisfying ritual. Over time, it's the practice of consistency, not perfection, that yields remarkable results. Chapter 14: The Cardinal Rule of Behavior Change. The fourth law: make it satisfying. Immediate rewards strongly reinforce future behavior, thanks to our brain's natural prioritization of instant gratification. 28. Clear introduces reinforcement hacking, adding quick pleasures after good habits, or making the consequences of bad ones immediately unpleasant. For habits with delayed benefits, e.g., saving money, getting fit, introduce small, visible rewards now. After you save, move cash to a visible savings account labeled for a goal. After a workout, put $1 in a treat jar for a reward later. Habit contracts, agreements with others outlining what happens if you fail your commitment, add social and sometimes financial consequences, making the costs immediate and therefore more likely to help you stick to your good intentions. Conversely, make bad habits unsatisfying by associating failure with instant pain or loss, like making a public commitment or financial penalty for not sticking to your goal. Chapter 15: Advanced Tactics. This chapter blends all 4 laws and urges readers to add layer upon layer for maximum benefit. Make cues visible. Law number 1. Rewards immediately satisfying. Law number 4. And responses effortless. Law number 3. Automate good habits and introduce friction for bad ones by using commitment devices and technology. Example: website blockers, scheduling automatic bank transfers for savings. 23. Clear illustrates this by how author Victor Hugo forced himself to write by having his assistant lock away his clothes, thus eliminating his ability to leave home and procrastinate. When you lock in positive behaviors and make negative behaviors practically impossible, you teleport yourself into better routines with little need for ongoing willpower. The principle is simple: make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. Use one-time choices, automation, and clever systems to make the new you the default you. Chapter 16: The Truth About Talent. When genes matter and when they don't. Clear brings nuance to the habits conversation. Genes matter, but effort matters more. 31. He discusses how natural inclinations make certain habits easier for some people, e.g., extroverts thrive on public speaking, conscientious people on routines. But anyone can leverage their skills by picking the right game, where your strengths are assets, not liabilities. His advice: play games you're suited for, but don't use genetics as an excuse. Combine your unique traits to create a niche. If you can't win at someone else's game, invent your own. Habit formation thrives at the intersection of natural strengths, passionate interest, and deliberate effort. Use habits as a vehicle to discover and maximize your best qualities. Chapter 17: The Goldilocks Rule. How to Stay Motivated in Life and Work. Clear explains that peak motivation comes when you work on tasks of just manageable difficulty. Not too easy, not too hard, but just right. This is the Goldilocks rule. Comedian Steve Martin, whose slow incremental rise from magic shows to comedy stardom took over a decade, exemplifies this principle. By progressively testing his routine with slightly larger challenges, he stayed engaged and continually improved. Clear encourages readers to seek flow, the state where challenge matches ability, and to embrace boredom. The greatest threat to progress isn't failure, but the monotony of repetition. Successful people show up even when it's dull and keep going long after amateur enthusiasm fizzles. Practical takeaways. Increase difficulty as you master each level by about 4%. Use variable rewards to maintain excitement. Occasional wins, surprises, and new challenges. Commit to showing up, not perfection. Chapter 18. The downside of creating good habits. Habits once ingrained run on autopilot. This is both a strength and a vulnerability. Automated routines free up mental space, but can also lead to stagnation, errors, or mindless repetition. 37. Clear encourages periodically reviewing your habits, like a pro athlete or artist does, to ensure continued growth and to avoid complacency. Automaticity alone is not mastery. Layer in regular, focused practice and reflection. A classic sports example is Pat Riley's career best effort system for the Lakers, which encouraged athletes not just to maintain performance, but to improve by 1% per season. By measuring and reviewing every aspect of effort, not just points or stats, but hustle plays and mentoring, Riley's team sustained excellence over time. The lesson: combine habitual routines with deliberate reflection and review to avoid locking yourself into fixed, outdated patterns. Chapter 19. How to review your habits and make adjustments. Clear provides a template for regular reflection. What went well this year? What didn't go well? What did I learn? How do my habits align with my core values? Using annual reviews and integrity reports, Clear evaluates whether his habits match who he wants to be and where he wants to go. Flexibility is crucial. Don't tie your identity too rigidly to a role or routine. If life changes, you need the freedom to adapt. This reflective attitude prevents you from settling, helps you see where you can keep improving, and maintains alignment with your evolving goals. Chapter 20. The secret to results that last. In the final chapter, Clear distills the message. Success is not a single finish line, but an endless process of refinement. Habits are not about achieving perfection. They are about building systems that put you on the right path, make good decisions automatic, and accumulate compounding results over time. The key to long-lasting change is not just awareness, but consistent action and the willingness to revise as you grow. Clear urges you to focus on who you are becoming, not just what you want to achieve. Keep your identity flexible, review your routines, and never stop making small improvements. Final takeaway: if you remember just one thing, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. By becoming 1% better every day, and by making each tiny habit a reflection of the person you wish to become, you chart a course for dramatic transformation. Ready to change your life? Start tiny, but start today. Your future self will thank you for every atomic habit you begin right now. This was Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you found value in this, hit like, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more book wisdom that transforms your mindset. You're watching Talking Better, where wisdom speaks and you evolve. See you in the next one.